let's turn back to Gaelic football, and I'm delighted to say Cork legend Larry Tompkins is with us. Larry, good morning to you. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Your new book is called Believe, and it's in the shops now, just in time for Christmas. How's it going?
Yeah, it's tipping away. It's just a pity that I probably haven't got to some places I'd like to get with the restrictions. But look, it's tipping along okay, and please God, come December, people can avail of it in any good book shop or any place that's around. So yeah, hopefully it's a good read for people, and keep them occupied for Christmas, please God. So. Yeah. Relive the memories.
Yeah, looking forward to getting my hands on a copy as well. Larry, one chat we kind of were having before you came on was about the power of Croke Park and whether or not the Dubs have an unfair advantage of playing every game that they play that's a major championship match in Croke Park. Do you have any view on this, like long term? Is it the right thing that every year Dublin plays semi-finals and finals in Croker?
Look, I suppose Croke Park has always been the mecca of the big games. It's where you want to be. It's where you want to win an All-Ireland. It's just probably, I'm not saying it diminishes it, maybe playing somewhere else. Of course, we would love it down here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It's a brilliant stadium here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh at the moment, and it would be a joy to have the bigger games here. Maybe All-Ireland semi-finals or something like that, maybe in Páirc Uí Chaoimh or something. But I think every player would love to just the privilege of just winning an All-Ireland in Croke Park, and I just feel like that maybe that's the place to do it. And every player that has the opportunity to play in Croke Park loves to play there because it's where you're going to be, it's where you want to be, and I think as young people and as people growing up, everybody wants to be there on the big occasion. So look, I don't think it's the big advantage that people think it is with Dublin. I just think like this. You know, Dublin have set the marker now, and look, it's for other teams now to get up to that level.
Yeah, the gap is obviously quite significant at the moment, Larry. That idea of potentially All-Ireland semi-finals being played outside of Croke Park could be a good stepping stone towards this, though, couldn't it? I mean, like the fact of the matter is there is lots of people who will agree with you and say that there's no point winning an All-Ireland unless it's in Croke Park, that maybe it is these Super 8s games. They've got 2 games in Croke Park in recent years, and these All-Ireland semi-finals actually bringing them around the country could not only make the competition a little bit fairer, but how good would an August afternoon in Cork for an All-Ireland semi-final be, or anywhere else in the country for that matter?
Well, look, I suppose under the circumstances at the moment, like naturally we'd all love to have the attendance and the crowds and the things that inspire and really get the blood boiling with players, like, but unfortunately that's not the case. But look, you have a wonderful stadium here in Cork, and naturally we would love to have the bigger games, you know, the qualifying games, the Super 8 games. I think it's a stadium like this, certainly, hopefully for the future, that a lot of these games will be played in, and I just think maybe that with the amount of games, I think it would be only right, like that a lot of these stadiums maybe that would get an opportunity to see these big games rather than maybe always going to Croke Park. I think it would give people the chance that maybe are in the area or near the area like to be able to go and look at these games rather than having to maybe always go to Croke Park. But as I said earlier, I just think like that if you're talking All-Ireland finals, I just think like that it's so important like to win your All-Ireland. I think in Croke Park, I think there's no better place.
Are Cork going to be lifting Sam Maguire in Croke Park this year, Larry?
So look, it's I just think it's really going well for Cork at the moment. I think they have a lot of talent, a lot of good young talent. I think you're seeing that again, Kerry. They had guys that came in their first big day and they performed very, very well. So I think like this team is only improving. They're only getting better. They have a nice, hopefully, if they can get over Tipperary now on the weekend, it'll be a nice stepping stone, hopefully, to go into the All-Ireland semi-final again Mayo. So, yeah, I think they're progressing, and it would be a huge, huge year if they could advance to an All-Ireland final. And when you get to an All-Ireland final, it's 70 minutes. Nobody knows what might happen on the day. But these are Cork lads that I think like that have no inferior complex, but to have the respect of teams, but I think to believe in themselves, and I think that's a huge factor. And I was very, very impressed with their attitude the last day, and when they really went out against all the odds, and deep down, kind of feeling like that they could win and win that game, and really, withstood every challenge they carried through up to them during the course of the game. And I just think that it's onwards and upwards Cork, so hopefully we can get there, yeah.
How different is the challenge, Larry, of going into a game actually as favourites now this weekend compared to the clear carrot of trying to end whatever it was, an 8-year drought without beating Kerry? It is a different position to be in now. There's a level of expectancy, I'd imagine, in Cork.
Yeah, look, it's like no other sport. It's like any sport, I suppose. Like that, everybody loves to be the underdog. Everybody loves to be kind of going in there with everybody telling you have no chance, and you feel then that there's naturally less pressure on you, and you can just play with abandon. But when you're favourites, then I suppose like that, you have to be able to cope with that as well. And I think that with Ronan McCarthy has been manager. Ronan, when I was manager in the early 2000s, we had a similar situation. We had beaten Kerry in the semi-final, and then we had Tipperary in the final, and we were damn lucky to get out of Thurles that day with a draw, and ended up in the replay, beating them comprehensively then in the replay. But I think Ronan, message will be this week to remind them of that year, that thinking that we were the hot favourites like Cork are next Sunday. So I don't think, we always say that we don't hope that there's no complacency, but I think hopefully that these guys, these young guys will just go out and just play and forget about having the favourites tags, and just play with the same kind of fluency and confidence that we had against Kerry.
I'd say this Tipperary team are actually probably licking their chops a little bit about the level of expectation and just the outpouring that there has been for the Cork football team since they beat Kerry, because it was such a big game. From their perspective, they have a bunch of players who they wouldn't have had this year if the coronavirus hadn't hit. So I'd say they're in the kind of the perfect scenario for them.
Yeah, look, I suppose it's like a lot of teams are hit with different things, like during the course of this pandemic, like, and maybe at times there's players that are not available because of it. We've seen lots of counties through the course of the championship like to have suffered. I suppose what you're hoping to do, it's like injuries, like you're hoping like that your full squad is okay, and from week to week or every couple of weeks that you might play, that you're hoping like that that you don't have any setbacks and your panel is strong. So I think it's unpredictable what could happen or what might happen. What you're hoping to do is keep the squad healthy and well, and hopefully go into each game like as I said, with your best squad available, and particularly like when you're in a kind of a tight regime and trying to finish the championship. I think it's so important, number one, that you have a strong panel, and you have players like that are on the subs that are equally as good as maybe the players that are starting, that when they are introduced, that they do make an impact. And I think that's really going to be the winner of the day, really, when it comes to the All-Ireland. I think it's your healthy squad, and the squad that's vibrant, and maybe avoiding the injuries, and maybe avoiding maybe getting caught up maybe in the COVID situation that's there at the moment. So a lot of things have to be taken on board. So hopefully the teams that's remaining, hopefully everybody can keep healthy and well, and we'll have a good run into the latter stages of the championship.
Larry, it's been a pretty dark decade for Cork football. What's changed that has allowed this team to throw off the shackles and the burden of the last 5, 6, 7 years?
I always feel like that. I couldn't believe like that Cork would have been kind of deemed to be kind of, going to Division 3. Okay, it was a setback, and like one thing you have to admire with the management team is like that. They didn't listen maybe to the negative talk, and to the, there was actions taken here in Cork where there was a 5-year plan put in place, and like I just think like with Cork, like there's such huge talent there. Like I think it was only inevitable that people just got behind the bus, in other words, and really drove it forward in the right direction. I think they've got now a good committed squad. They've got young, vibrant players who are after coming in from the minor and under 20 squad of even last year and the year before. I think they have developed these players over the last 2 years really well to be in good conditions physically and mentally. And I think maybe if there was one thing maybe there was lacking before and an awful lot of players lost in Cork was like that they let young players maybe drift and didn't bring them in soon enough and to develop them. But I think it's so important like to bring in young lads now. When you see the huge talent like that some guys have like at 18, 19 years of age, I think it's important to bring them in for that year or two's development, and then after that couple of years they're really ready then for the fray. And I think that's what you've seen with Cork now. I think they've really got their act together over the last couple of years. I don't think Division 3 has in any way hindered them. I think what they've got on a roll there, they've got winning matches, they've got confidence, and I think through the Super 8 last year, getting to it was a big bonus. And when you look back at last year's Munster Final against Kerry, that game went to the wire. So look, it was no miracle that to beat Kerry. Like they were close, and I just think that those players went out there and just said, look, no longer are we going to be bridesmaids to Kerry, and they really believed in their ability. And I think that's what you've seen now. You have seen guys that really have that confidence.
Larry, good stuff. Thanks a million. Enjoy the game at the weekend. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Thanks very much. That's Larry Tompkins there giving us some thoughts ahead of the game at the weekend. 0879 180 180 is the number if you want to get in touch.